everyone. I'm Anne from the Open the Book team at St Luke's Church. Love is a word that means different things to different people. We may say people are in love. We say, oh, I love that book. And I'm sure that the people at home sometimes tell you that they love you. In the Bible, there are many stories about how we should love God and love each other. In fact, Jesus said that this was the most important thing we should do. Let's open the book to the story called But Who Is My Neighbour? I wonder what bandages have to do with this story. Jesus was teaching one day, and while he was teaching, a man asked him a question. Now, this wasn't just any man. He was a man who'd studied all the laws that God had given to the people of Israel. Teacher, he said to Jesus, what should I do to make sure that I will live forever with God in heaven? What does God's law say? Jesus replied. What answer do you get when you read the Bible? It says, love God with all your heart and soul and strength and mind, the man answered, and love your neighbour as yourself. Sounds right to me, said Jesus. Do these things and you will live forever with God. But then the man asked Jesus another question. But who exactly is my neighbour? So Jesus told him a story. A man was walking along a desert road, the one that goes from Jerusalem to Jericho. Thought the man who was listening to the story. That's not a safe road. And it wasn't. For suddenly, robbers surprised the travelling man and attacked him. They took all his things and all his clothes and left him there half dead at the side of the road. Oh dear, thought the man who was listening to the story. That's terrible. But just then a priest walked by. Oh good, thought the man who was listening to the story, the priest will help him. But the priest didn't help the man. Not at all. He took one look and he just kept on going. Then a man who worked in God's temple passed by. Oh good, thought the man who was listening to the story. Surely the temple worker will help him. But the temple worker didn't help the man. Not at all. He took one look and just kept on going. He even crossed over to the other side of the road. Then a man from Samaria came by. From Samaria, thought the man who was listening to the story. How people can't stand Samaritans. They're not like us. We're always arguing with them about how to worship God. They even helped our enemies once. We don't get along at all. That Samaritan will never help him. But he did. The Samaritan felt sorry for the man. He put bandages on his wounds. He put him on the back of his donkey. He took him to an inn and took care of him. And the next day when the Samaritan had to leave, he gave money to the innkeeper to care for the injured man until he was well again, with the promise of more if that money ran out. So, which of the men who passed by that day was a neighbour to the man who'd been robbed? Jesus asked. Not the ones who walked by, that's for sure, the man who'd been listening to the story replied. The one who cared for him, he was a neighbour. There's your answer then. Now, you go and do the same, Jesus replied. when you last fell down or hurt yourself, someone helped you to get up and took care of you. That person was being a good neighbour to you. In today's story, Jesus was telling people that they should be kind to anyone who needs help. Not just their friends or people they like or whom they know well. Let's close our eyes and think quietly about the story. Think about how you would feel if you were hurt or needed help and people walked past without bothering about you. Now, I'm going to say a prayer. And if you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, some people feel lonely and think they haven't got any good neighbours. Help them to know that you love them, and please teach us to be good neighbours to everybody. Amen.